The book of 1 Kings portrays the lives of both godly and ungodly individuals from a defining period in the life of the nation of Israel. People such as King David, King Solomon, and the Queen of Sheba sought after God, though they were far from perfect in this quest. Others, such as Ahab and Jezebel, notoriously rebelled against God's commands and suffered the just consequences of their actions. As a whole, the book demonstrates the implications of choosing between these two paths through the lives of good and bad kings, true and false prophets, and an assortment of others whose lives shaped Israel's spiritual odyssey. The ever-present backdrop of God's unchanging faithfulness provides hope and confidence to those who seek Him. The unknown author of this book recounts Israel's history beginning with the death of the great King David in the 10th century and concluding in 2 Kings nearly 400 years later with Jerusalem's destruction and the bitter exile of God's divided people. The author highlights the spiritual successes and failures that define the nation, including Solomon's demise and the nation's successive, nearly immediate splintering, with 10 tribes in the north aligning under Jeroboam and 2 tribes in the south under the rule of Solomon's son, Rehoboam. From that time forward, the author juxtaposes the spiritual apostasy of the 2 kingdoms against the small glimmers of faithfulness still seen among the people. Though 1 Kings is a historical narrative, it is much more than a mere recounting of factual events. Rather, the author's purpose was theological. He wanted to demonstrate that obedience to God was and is the proper response to God's constant and grace-filled faithfulness. The people had been warned, both before they entered the Promised Land and throughout their time in the land, that those who failed to honor God and obey His word would face stark consequences. And time again, the people of Israel learned the truth of this lesson the hard way. The continued inability of the people to obey points forward to humanity's need for the long-awaited Messiah. Jesus Christ would do what the nation of Israel was unable to do. He would perfectly obey the law of God. His wisdom, miracles, and faithfulness are foreshadowed, though imperfectly, through exemplary figures such as Solomon, Elijah, and Elisha. The stories of God's grace, seen in these godly individuals, provide believers today with a model of the worshipful obedience that should still be seen among God's people. O Lord, God of Israel, there is no God like you, in heaven above or on earth beneath, keeping covenant and showing steadfast love to your servants who walk before you with all their heart. 1 Kings 8:23.